the idea of a Jewish state is to have, if you will, but Israel does not have full separation of church and state. It is a Jewish state. All right. Now, you are, it seems to me, attacking the legitimacy of having a Jewish state.
I'm asking why we, as a government, support it. Because we do have our ideas. And if you believe in Reagan doctrine and they should fight their own fights, shouldn't they fight their own laws? Why do we support that?
Sure. Well, first of all, we have established a constitution and a way of life for us. We also recognize we live in a big world. Okay? And in a big world, we make allies with people, some of whom we agree with 100%, and some of whom we agree with 5%. Why? Because foreign policy is based on the principle of the lesser evil. And you sometimes ally even with the bad guy to get rid of the worst guy. And if you forget that lesson, then you do things like yank the Persian rug out from the Shah of Iran, our ally, and you get 40 years of Khomeini. And you get a country that is basically causing nonstop trouble in the Middle East, trying to build nuclear bombs. All of this is the legacy of one sanctimonious Jimmy Carter, who said, I want nothing to do with the Shah of Iran. He's a dictator. He has a secret police. And whoops, we get Khomeini, from the frying pan into the fire. Here's the point. Why do we support Israel? The truth of the matter is that what you have is sort of little Israel. It's a little outpost of Western civilization in a large piece of real estate that's fairly hostile to it. Now, I agree that Israel is a problem. Why is it a problem? It's a problem not necessarily just due to the Palestinians. What happens is that it seems like every 15 years, all the Arab states get together and gang up on Israel. And Israel kind of dusts it off, pistol whips the whole bunch of them combined. And it's really embarrassing, right? It's sort of like, here's little Israel. And so Israel is seen as the little Satan, and we are, if you will, the great Satan. We have to recognize that Israel's fate is sort of, certainly over the last 50 years, bound up with ours, for better or worse. So, you know, it's a tough spot. I don't agree with everything Israel does. I'm not saying that we should be giving billions in aid to Israel or Egypt, for that matter. So I'm not putting this out of bounds for debate, but I am saying I'm really glad to have, albeit a small ally in the Middle East. And I think that if Israel were to vanish off the face of the map, that would be very bad for American interests, and it would also be very bad for the Jews.
I really appreciate your question. I appreciate your question. I want to point out two things. One is we all support Nelson Mandela now. We didn't support Nelson Mandela when the fight against apartheid was actually going on. Nelson Mandela was only taken off the terrorist watch list in 2006. So let's get real about, now we all love him, and he was a grandfather who reconciled. How about his Rivonia speech when he was put in jail for life? How about reading that and